everyone. My name is Shaila Moras, lecturer working for the Department of Food Nutrition and Dietetics, Milagres College. And under food science, today we are learning about what is cooking and the objectives of cooking. So, before going to cooking, let us have an introduction on selecting this topic. So, why we are learning this topic? Because cooking is a step which is very important to make a food wholesome. So there are a lot of changes occurring to the food when it is cooked because selecting a suitable type or method of cooking is very important to get a wholesome food. So there are two methods of cooking under which lot of cooking types are classified. So if I take moist heat method, so which are cooked, the foods are cooked using a water or a steam as a medium of cooking, and dry heat method, which is a dry hair or the fat is used as a cooking media. So under moist heat method, we will classify boiling, simmering, stewing, pressure cooking, steaming, etc. Then under dry heat method, classify frying, where also we can classify shallow frying, deep frying, stir frying, etc. And baking, roasting, all those. Okay. So why these different methods are there? Because these different methods of cooking will have their own changes or effects on the particular food. So moving on to the first slide, the what is cooking? Okay. So in simple terms, cooking is nothing but changing the raw material into a suitable edible item. And also in scientifically, if we define, the process of subjecting food to the action of heat is termed as cooking. So the main role is played by the heat. So heat brings a lot of change. Again, the mode of heat transfer may differ from conduction, convection, radiation. But here, the main thing is the food gets the physical and chemical changes occurs to the food when it is cooked, making the nutrients available. So as I said, cooking is making the non-edible substances into edible one. Methods of combining food ingredients in various ways with delicate flavors, textures and colors. Yes, wow, when you cook, okay, because of the physical and chemical changes, lot of flavors, that is nothing but the mixing, the combining of the food ingredients brings a lot of delicate flavors, textural changes and suitable color. If I talk with regard with the preparation of dosa, so we can take an example of this. How the harvesting is done. Okay, the paddy is harvested. How you can see the mature yellow colored paddy is harvested once it turns to its maturation period. Then after that it is separated. The grains are separated. So here the modern method of separation is given. So traditionally we can use the wooden stands where we have to manually we have to separate it. Okay. So once it is separated we have to mill it. So milling is done. Before milling, the rice grains, the paddy grains are pre-treatment is done. That is nothing but parboiling, nothing but partially boiling. Okay? So the grains are boiled and then it is dried. Okay? Then it is dried. Why? Because to make the milling easier. Okay? And also it avoids the breaking of the grains. So once it is milled, we will get the rice dehulled. Dehulling is done. Then the rice for make to make dosa, we need to soak the rice. So we can use the pulses dal. Also we can use along with soaking the rice. And once it is soaked for 7 to 8 hours or overnight, it is ground. Okay, so grinding is done to get a batter. So once it is grind, okay, what we do, we ferment it. So fermented batter, you can see there are a lot of benefits of fermentation where the good probiotics can be incorporated into the food. So dosa, idli, the fermented foods is an example for fermented food where there is a essential, the microorganisms which are needed for our gut health can be taken from this fermentation process. Okay, once it is fermented, we have to make a dosa. So we use this griddle and we spread some butter, ghee or fat or oil, then we make dosa. So how beautifully the crispiness of the dosa depends on the method. Okay, you cannot boil it, you cannot steam it, you won't get that particular crispy dosa. So what we have to do, we have to select the suitable cooking method. So to know this, we should know what is the consistency we have to use, what is the temperature we have to use, so that we get a suitable, that is a desired crispy dosa. So this is an example of selecting a suitable cooking method and how the cooking is important. Then moving on to the objectives of cooking. So there are a lot of objectives to list here: improves the taste and food quality, destruction of the microorganisms, cooking improves digestibility, increases variety, increases consumption of food, increases availability of nutrients and concentrates nutrients, increases antioxidant value, and also it reduces the pesticide residue. Okay, so moving on to the first objective, that is improves taste and food quality. Yes. So whatever we buy from the market, we check for its quality. How good? For example, if I take this pen, how good the pen is, how good it writes, the writing ability, the durability of the pen we see. Similarly, when we talk about the food quality, it is determined in terms of its excellence. Excellence in terms of its taste, its color, its appearance, its texture, its fluidness, its consistency. Overall, acceptability is seen. Appearance also seen. So to make it tastier, what we have to do? We add a lot of spices. Not only adding the spices, we cook it, right? We cook it. So yes, cooking improves the taste and quality of the food. As you can see in the picture, we have a raw egg. Okay, so imagine the raw egg, how it is. It is the egg. Egg is made up of majorly it is made up of the proteins, right? So the egg white and egg yolk, transparent egg white and the egg yolk, you can see here. And after cooking, how it beautifully presented, right? So the coagulation of the proteins increases its appearance. It makes consumer appealing. So that is what we want. So it brings, cooking brings changes in the taste, color, texture, etc. So this is very important objective, that is destruction of microorganisms. What are microorganisms? These are the uh, viruses, bacteria, fungi, anything which is present everywhere. You can see microorganisms present in air. So since they are present everywhere, we have to take care of them. How? So it is known, scientifically it is proved that heat, that is cooking, can kill the microorganisms, may prevent the spores also. So when you cook the food, what happens? The dangerous microorganisms, Salmonella, Staphylococcus aureus, Campylobacter, Clostridium, all those are present in the, especially there are two types of foods, that is high risk and low risk foods. Okay, high risk foods are the one which can be included the meat, fresh produce. Okay, nutritionally rich as well as which can spoil easily, the meat, fish, then the milk, dairy products, and also vegetables, fresh it is. Then when it is a low risk food, yes, the dried items, the cereal, grains and all, you can see when you store it, you can store it for longer time, but you cannot store the meat and fish, poultry and all outside the temperature, ambient temperature for longer days. So like how the growth of the microorganisms. So what they do, microorganisms, they seek the food. They need to survive. They want their survival. So they seek for the food and they will act upon the food and they will spoil our food. So not only they spoil the food, they enter into our gut system, our body, and they alter, they harm our health also. So what we have to do is in this picture, if you see properly, there is a thermometer given. So from 4 degree to 60 degrees Celsius is known as danger zone. Danger. Why? Because microorganisms can grow. Microorganisms can easily multiply. Okay. So in this, because the surprising thing is the ambient temperature, the room temperature also comes under this temperature range. So what we have to do is we have to avoid keeping the food items for longer time in the outside temperature. So when you cook it, means when you bring up, the temperature is increased above 60 degrees Celsius in order to kill the microorganism and also to maintain the safety of the food product. And below the 4 degrees Celsius, that the food is low, cold method, that is the preservation method, where the freezing is done and cold storage is done. So that's why, in order to alter the microorganisms growth. So make sure that every time you store the food product either in the refrigeration or clean it, cook it and eat, consume it. Okay. Next objective, if I move on, that is improves digestibility. So what is digestibility? Digestibility is nothing but whatever we eat, it should get broken down easily and the nutrient should be available to me and it should be bioavailable. So the nutrient should be whatever we eat. Okay. How much we eat is important, not important. How the quality of the food is very important. How good the quality is important. So improving quality is done by cooking the food. For example, as I given, cooking the egg. Okay, cooking the egg. You can see here unboiled egg and also the boiled egg. You can see here that is proteins. Okay, the proteins. These are the normal. Whole egg if you say. The raw egg if you take, the proteins will be coiled. There won't be any changes. And once it is cooked, okay, when you apply heat, what happens? There will be a changes in the food. The previous picture you have seen the coagulation of the proteins. Here also you can see the white gets cooked properly. The yolk also gets cooked. So why? Because there is a change in the protein. The denaturation of the protein occurs. The unfolding of the protein strands occurs. It is not only benefit for the quality purpose but also the availability of the proteins also increases. That's how it is helpful. It improves digestibility not only for egg. You can talk about the meat products. You can talk about the vegetables. So you take one potato, raw potato. After cooking, what gets softened. So that means the cell wall of the potato gets softened. So that you can eat it easily as well as you can get the nutrients easily. So digestibility inside our body also, the whatever the metabolic activities are there becomes easier. The enzymes which are present in our body can easily act upon the food what is given inside the body. Next is increases variety. So how to increase variety? Cooking increases variety. So selecting different food groups. You can see how beautiful the thali in South Indian thali. If you take the lot of ingredients, the food items are kept, but it is cooked. The cooked food products can increases the beauty by providing the necessary nutrition. Next, if you see the increases consumption of food. So this is also very important in order to avoid the malnutrition, especially in infants and the elderly people. So when you consider infants cannot eat adult foods, right? So we have to see that suitable food, that is cereal based products. Avoid giving, before below 0 to 6 months, we should not give the raw food items, okay, and then also the meat and all should be avoided initially. Cereal based products, but it is cooked well, mashed well, so that whatever the nutrients are there can be given to the baby as well as in order to make the food baby switch on to from the breast milk to the complementary food. Then also if you see elderly people, they have a problem. They will have a problem in heating the food because of the physiological changes. What happens? We can give a cooked mashed soups. They need calcium more, they need iron more. So see that you give such foods so that the consumption rate will be increased, a person can be healthy. And also, if I take next objective, that is increases availability of nutrients and concentrates nutrients. So what are nutrients? So the nutrients are the chemical compounds which are present in the food, mainly macronutrients and micronutrients. Surprisingly, our own body is made up of nutrients. So macronutrients includes carbohydrate, protein, fat. Micro includes minerals, vitamins. And also here, the amount you take matters, how you cook matters, and also the way of cooking, because micronutrients, if I take, okay, they are present in green leafy vegetables. What are micronutrients? If I say vitamin C, okay, vitamin C, if I cook for a longer time, it gets evaporated, or it may be destroyed because of its heat by nature. So what happens? See that the heat by uh, food nutrients are consumed raw, as in like fruit juices, then citrus fruits, etc. So next objective is increases antioxidant value. So what are antioxidants? These are the bioactive compounds which are mainly present in fruits, vegetables, nuts, and also in fish, that is omega 3, omega 6 fatty acids, etc. So these acts as a fighting agents for the free radicals which are produced in our body, which causes aging, towards aging in our body, physiological change. And also because of not because of the physiological change, a person who ages according to the physiological change is normal. But when because of a lot of consumption of alcohol, smoking, and also unhealthy eating habits causes to age. Okay, here what type of antioxidants are there in the food products? For example, vitamin C is a common example. Then resveratrol, which is present in grapes, lycopene in tomatoes, curcumin in turmeric. Then there are a lot of antioxidants, especially present in the fruits and vegetables. So see that every day you consume a single of, apple or citrus fruits every day. Okay. Next is a pesticide residue. So very important to reduce the pesticides. We have to be very careful to select the produce, then washing it properly. Thorough washing is important. Then peeling it, chopping it, and also cooking. So cooking reduces the some amount of pesticides if it is present in the leafy vegetables or and all. So here, pesticides are introduced to fruits or vegetables, and also to the animals through you know this one anti-allergenic agents. Then injection, through injections the hormones are given. But here in this pesticides are given to the plants, where in order to avoid the growth of fungicides, that is fungus, growth of fungus, then bacteria, virus, rodents. The spraying is done. You can see in the picture fertilizers. So yeah, fertilizer also you can consider, but if it is a chemical fertilizer, it becomes dangerous. So these will remaining of these will have a adverse effect on the human's health, especially in fertility. In infants also, it will have a problem for growth and development, and also in the carcinogenic effect also you can see when the pesticides are consumed in a more than a permissible limit. Okay, there's a type and amount of pesticides will have an effect on a person's health. So we all discussed about in today's video what is cooking and the importance of cooking and the objectives of cooking. And we have to, by considering this, we can see that what type of cooking method we can select, as well as cook your food thoroughly and consume it. Thank you.